Hello, welcome to Fort Collins Living History. I'm Lynda Lloyd. Our guest today is Everitt Merrit. Everitt goes to Dunn IB World School. He's going into 6th grade and has agreed to come to our program today because he knows a lot about Edgar Avery. We've been able to find out about Edgar because Edgar kept a diary when he was 12 years old in the year 1890. And so with the help of that diary, Everitt can become Edgar. So if you want to change yourself over into Edgar, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name's Edgar Avery. I'm 12 years old and I live in Fort Collins, Colorado on 328 West Mountain Street.
And you live there with your family?
Yes.
You've lived there ever since you were born?
I have.
Tell us about your family.
My family consists of my two younger sisters who are 2 years apart, Ethel and Merrit, and my mama and papa, Franklin and Sarah Avery, and also my cousin Horace, who's living with us for a year, and my grandma lives with us.
Goodness, you have a house full, don't you, in that
Yes.
beautiful home on Mountain Avenue.
Yes.
Well, a very nice family life. Do you go to school?
I do, and my school is right across the street, so it's very
nice.
handy to have it right across the street. I study all sorts of different things. I study arithmetic and literature, and I study writing and science.
Very good. Geography? Do you
Geography,
learn about your
yes.
country? Very
Yes.
good. You didn't mention spelling, Edgar. Do you study spelling?
Yes, we do.
Is it one of your best subjects?
No.
I'm sorry to hear
it's-
that. Having read your diary, I do know that
Yes.
spelling gives you a little bit of trouble.
Yes.
I was wondering about arithmetic because I do know that your father is a surveyor, one of the things, and a banker as well.
Yes.
Both of those things need a lot of arithmetic. Is it a favorite of yours?
I do like arithmetic.
Very
It's-
good. Maybe you'll be a banker or a surveyor when you
Maybe.
grow up.
Yes, I keep a log in the back of my journal of how much money I make and how much money I spend each month.
Oh, excellent. That's
Yes.
very good practice with arithmetic.
Yes,
So I know that you and your sisters walk across the street to go to school.
yes,
On weekends, does your family attend church?
we do. On Sundays, we go to church in the early morning, and then later in the day, we go to Sunday school. And then Horace and I sometimes go to the prayer ceremony in the evening.
Goodness, you could spend the entire day there, couldn't
We do,
you?
yes.
So 5 days of the week you're at school most all day. Oh, you know what? I forgot to ask you. I think your school day was a little bit different than the school day that children of my time have. You want to tell about how your day went?
Yes, we actually have a hour-long break in the middle. We have a morning session and an afternoon. So we can go home for lunch, and sometimes we run errands, and then we go back to school.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
So a nice break in the middle. That's
Yeah.
very convenient. So we've got 5 days of school and we've got a lot of church things on Sunday. I bet Saturday is a fun day for you. Would you
Saturday
like
is
to tell
my favorite.
Very good, of course, of course. Would you like to tell some of the things that you do for fun?
For fun, I love to play with my best friends Ralph Handy and Vaughn Sickman, who come over and we play ball, baseball, and football. And we play checkers and dominoes and tops.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
And maybe some sports as well?
Yes. Yeah, we're on a team. All of my friends and I are on a team, on the baseball club, and we travel around from Greeley and Denver, and sometimes the other teams come here.
Very good. How do you get to a baseball game in Greeley?
We take the train. We walk to the train station, and then the train takes us there.
Very good. Boys and girls don't go to baseball games on trains in my time.
No.
That was very exciting. I'm thinking about winter things. Some of the things you've mentioned just won't work when there's snow on the ground. What do you
No.
like to do in the winter?
In wintertime, I love to go sledding, and sometimes we go up to the mountains and roll down the hills.
Oh, that's
and
fun. Are you allowed to go up to the mountains with no adults along?
Yes, sometimes we go up and bring dinner and spend the night, sometimes even.
Oh, how lovely. And you do that with your good friends, Ralph
Yes.
and Vaughn.
Yes.
Very good, very good. I think my next question, I'm not quite sure if it's fun or if it's a responsibility. Tell me about your pony.
Oh, my pony Chubby. He's, we're not sure how old he is, but he's very, very fun to have. I take care of him, and he's very mellow, but sometimes he gets mischievous. And he breaks out of his pasture that's on our property. And sometimes he wakes me up at 4:30 in the morning, and I have to go chase after him.
You're the one that has to take that responsibility,
Yes.
don't you? So you ride him with a saddle?
Yes, I've bought myself a saddle, and sometimes we attach a cart to him, and I pull my mother and sisters around.
Ah, so you can do errands in the cart too.
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's terrific. So you get around with the train and you get around with your pony and the pony cart. Are there any other ways that you get around Fort Collins?
We walk a lot. Sometimes we walk to the Opera House. We love going to the opera, and we walk to the train station. My papa walks there at 5:15 in the morning, every morning, and that's pretty much it.
Well, I think your papa's bank is only maybe a half a mile from your house,
Yes,
so
yes.
you can walk down there
Yeah.
quite easily. Oh, I was just thinking about your papa going to the train. When it's time for him to come home on the train, you usually,
I meet him.
you meet
Yes.
him at the train.
Yes, and sometimes he isn't there, though. So.
He missed his train and
Yeah.
doesn't arrive at home. Well, and I also remember one story where he didn't just miss one train,
He missed 2 trains.
2 trains. And how many days later did he finally arrive home?
They went to Salt Lake City, and they didn't write for a while, and finally they got home.
Goodness, I'll bet you and your sisters were anxious for Mama and Papa to get
Yes.
home. Yes. So, especially when they were gone, I'll bet you, being the oldest of the 3 children, were helping out around the house. Would you
Yes.
like to tell some of the chores and duties that you have?
Some of the chores I do, I keep the house warm with the furnace. I tend to the furnace, and I take the coals downstairs. I help Papa around the house, and I help my Mama around the house with sweeping. And I also have a vegetable stand that I use.
Goodness. So you grow the vegetables and
Yes.
then sell them at the stand.
Right.
What
And
kind of vegetables do you grow?
we grow pie plant.
What
which
is that?
It's very sour.
Oh.
I think that people call it rhubarb.
I see.
Yes, and it makes delicious pies, so
I
that's why
think
we
so
call
too.
it pie plant. And we also grow radishes and turnips that we
And
sell.
in the garden right behind your house.
Yes.
And then you save your money for such things as that big purchase, the saddle,
saddle.
for Chubby.
Yes.
Do you ever buy candy?
Oh, yes.
I thought you
Yes.
might. It seems like candy is a very favorite of yours.
Yes.
Any particular kind that's your best flavor?
I love any kind of candy, but we make a lot of molasses candy, which is I like, and my sisters make taffy, which is very good. Sometimes my papa, when he comes home from work, he will bring me things, candy and things,
That's
which is
great.
nice.
Well, when you're not eating candy, Edgar, what kind of good foods does your family enjoy?
Well, sometimes I go to my grandma's house, and she makes delicious meals. She makes turkey and mashed potatoes and all sorts of delicious things, apple pie. She makes the best apple pie. But when I'm at home, sometimes we eat mush and milk, and which is like porridge, but that's on days that we don't have a lot to eat.
Lovely meals.
Yes, but sometimes we have chicken and dumplings and a lot of meat. We eat a lot of meat.
And some vegetables from your
Yes,
garden, I
yes,
hope. Very
yeah.
good. Well, I'm wondering if your family has any holiday traditions.
For holidays, we celebrate birthdays with my friends, and we also celebrate our Christmas. We get a big tree for the church, and we celebrate there. And also on Easter we celebrate.
Very nice.
Yes, and
I'm wondering about Valentine's. Do you trade
Oh.
cards with friends at school?
I do. I only got one Valentine this
Oh,
year.
I'm
but
sorry. I wish I could have sent you
Yeah.
one.
my sister's got a couple,
Very good.
so I'm jealous.
Yes, of course. Well, speaking of birthdays, I think people have celebrated those throughout the years. Think about your next birthday when you turn 13, if you could choose anything you'd like, what would you ask for your birthday?
I would love a baseball bat, a new baseball bat.
That would be perfect.
Yes.
And I understand your papa likes to play baseball too, so
Yes.
he would agree that that would be a very good birthday present.
Yeah.
And that makes me think about your team. Does it always win?
We don't always win, but we're very good.
Very good. I'm glad of that.
Yeah.
I noticed when you wrote in your diary, you would tell who won the baseball games
Right.
and by how many runs you were
Yes.
winning. But you also talked about some of the other things you did in terms of who was the winner and who was the loser.
Right.
How are you at dominoes? Are you most often the winner or the loser?
With dominoes, I play with my grandma a lot, and sometimes she wins, but she's very good, and sometimes I win.
And how about chess?
On chess, I play with my papa and my cousin Horace, and he won a lot.
Okay, so you don't always get
No,
to be the winner.
I don't always.
Well, I think you're a winner, Edgar. I think you are a fine student, a fine sportsman, and a really dedicated young man to write in your diary every day for an
Yes.
entire year.
Yes,
It was
hard.
a bit of a job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One of the things you really liked to tell about was the weather, probably because that was easy.
Yes.
And tell about the weather in Fort Collins in 1890.
Usually it was a very pleasant day.
Every day that was nice, Edgar
Yes.
writes. It's a very pleasant day. Or sometimes it was windy.
Yes.
Occasionally it was snowy. Very similar to nowadays.
Yes, rainy in the afternoons in summer, and
Very much like now.
yes.
Well, it sounds to me, Edgar, as if there are many things in your life that seem similar to children of the present time, but many things that are different than present. So we truly appreciate your coming. And thank you, Everitt, for portraying Edgar so well today. And thank you, audience, for joining us for another episode of Fort Collins Living History. See you next time.